Geoffrey here, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can really cut through defensiveness in your marriage. And if you want to empower yourself to really take control and start improving your relationship, then you want to subscribe to this channel and click that bell button to be notified when I post 5 new videos every single week. You know, it's so frustrating when your partner gets really defensive every single time you're trying to bring up something small or to just tell them some very simple thing. And it makes you feel like this relationship is really hopeless. You can't even address anything. But there's a reason why people are defensive. And once you understand this reason, you can really cut through that defensiveness and really fight through it. And so let's get into it. So the first thing you need to understand is really understanding the root of defensiveness. So why do people get defensive? And the one reason why people get defensive is that they either feel a threat, and they feel this lack of safety. And we're not talking about physical safety, we're talking about emotional and psychological, mental safety. So imagine yourself in an environment where, everyone's really critical around you. Everything you say, someone will find something wrong with it. People are always telling you how wrong you are, how much of an asshole you are, how bad you are, and so on. You're gonna feel very mentally defensive because you feel like this environment is a threat. And when you're in that environment, you're naturally going to raise your guard and be really defensive over small things because you're going to have to protect yourself. You have to defend yourself against this threat. But once you remove this threat, once you find yourself in this environment where you can actually say anything you want and people will listen to you, people might even agree with you, and people will never judge you and so on, that you can say whatever you want, it never leads to some argument or some bad consequences, then you can let your guard down a bit more. And so when there's no threat, there's no defensiveness. When there's a lot of threat and lack of safety, there's a lot of defensiveness there. So just understand that from now. And so once you understand that, let's look at how most people deal with defensiveness in their relationship. So let's say you're having a conversation with your partner right now on a couch, and you're trying to just say some very simple thing to your partner, but instantly they get very defensive. They get very guarded, and you wonder what the hell? What's going on? And so what do? You get upset, you get angry, and you say why are you being so defensive? You start forcing or imposing that to become less defensive. So you say, hey, can you just stop being so defensive? Just tell me. Stop being so defensive. Just calm down. Or maybe you even give them an ultimatum. So you say, you know what, if you're going to be this defensive, things are not going to work out. Bye. And then maybe you give them a cold shoulder. So you say, I can't talk to you like this. I'm getting out of here. So you walk off. Well, if you do any of these things, what you're doing is actually increasing the threat because you're actively attacking them again. So you can't lower defensiveness by attacking someone. The more you attack someone, the more they raise their guard up and the more defensive they become. And so just look at the negative cycle you'll be perpetuating if you respond in this way. So your partner's already defensive. You respond by being threatening and attacking and giving ultimatums and assuming and everything like that, which makes your partner more defensive, which makes you want to do more of those things, more of those attacks even more, which makes your partner even more defensive. And the cycle goes on until one of you is really, really defensive and the other is really, really angry. And that's how arguments escalate. So if you can recognize the cycle and if you want to stop it, then I want you to comment below, stop the cycle. And show us that you're really committed to really stopping the cycle and that you want to understand how to let their guard down and remove this defensiveness once and for all. And so if we can understand that when someone's defensive, all that means is that they perceive this threat, then all we want to do is to remove this threat as much as possible. And we can do it with 4 techniques. And so the number one thing you should do when you're trying to deal with a defensive partner is you want to ask for permission or consent before you even begin the conversation. So before you even begin the conversation, you don't want to just say your thoughts. You don't want to just express your thought and get into the meat of whatever you're trying to say directly. What you want to do instead is ask a question to say, hey, are you free right now? Can you talk about this right now? Or if you're not free right now, when can you talk about this? And you want to wait for your partner to completely agree with your permission or consent. And you're not going to move on until you get that consent. Then the second thing is, once you have the conversation going, start with what I call an inbound pass. So a lot of people, when we have the conversation, we think that we just have the right to just say whatever we want now. Say our full thoughts and say our full expressions without thinking about it. But when you do this, that will just overwhelm your partner even more, and they will get their guard up really, really fast. And so what you want to do is to make an inbound pass first. And what is an inbound pass? So in basketball terms, when a play starts, they're not trying to pass the ball to one person and then that one person just shoots it, right? The inbound pass is not a big deal. It's just a pass to just get the ball in the court. They're not trying to do anything fancy with this. It's just to start the conversation. It's just to start the play. And the same thing here. You just want to do something to start your play. And usually the best way to start your play is just by non-verbal touch. And so just simply walk over to your partner to start the conversation and just hold their hands or embrace them and hug them and really feel both your body soften and your partner's body soften as you do this. And if you're doing this properly, if you're doing the touch properly, you will watch both of you soften, because physical touch really releases a lot of hormones that really opens people up and calms people down. So start your conversation softly with an inbound pass, and usually that means that it's a non-verbal touch in some way. And when you start your conversation, you want to begin with open-ended questions. So if you don't have anything specific to bring up, just tell your partner, hey, tell me how you're feeling. But if you have something specific to bring up, so for example, your partner forgot your anniversary date, which is a big deal, but you want to bring it up in a most artful way possible. Hey, I noticed you forgot our anniversary dinner. Can you tell me more what you're thinking there? So that's a very open-ended question that's not assumptive in any way. And the reason why people get really defensive when you ask them questions is that your questions are really assumptions disguised as questions. So we say something like, did you miss our dinner because of X? Did you forget our dinner? You always forget our dinner, right? So those are questions, but they're not very open-ended. Those questions are really assumptions disguised as questions. They're not real questions. And so whenever you make assumptions, whenever you judge someone before you even have a conversation, their guards will go way up. And once the guards go way up, they get really defensive. So ask very open-ended questions. And a good rule for this is, whatever statements you make, just simply end it with, tell me what you think about that, or tell me what you feel about that. That's it. If you just place this thing at the end of your sentences, it'll be much better received. And if, let's say, your partner is very defensive at any point in time in this conversation, don't panic. Don't react adversely to it. Just simply say, can you tell me more about how you feel? Can you tell me more about that? So just simply counter their defensiveness with some acknowledgement that they're being upset and a very open-ended question. And that's it. And once you ask that, you will notice that the guards go way down again. And so as you're having this conversation, you're eventually going to reach a point where you're going to get to a resolution, or you're going to talk about some solutions here. And there's two ways you can do this. The first way is you want to ask for permission to even start giving your solution. So you want to ask, for example, hey, can I tell you what I'm thinking? Or can I tell you things from my perspective? Can I tell you my solution? And you wait for your partner to say yes. And once your partner says yes, then you say, here's my solution. Then end it with, what do you think? And that what do you think is crucial. Because you never want to impose your ideas on anyone. Because when you impose your ideas on someone, they'll get their guards up and they're going to get defensive even if they agree with you. But when you ask it as a question, you're inviting them to see if they agree. And that's a less imposing way, and they don't have to feel any threat there, because they can say no, they can say yes whenever they want. And so those tips are not going to solve all your problems, but they're really good beginnings to helping you conduct your conversation in a way that actually lowers defensiveness, lowers the threat, instead of one that increases it. And if you're looking for a more detailed resource on how you can lower defensiveness, how you can approach conversations and actually lower the guard, lower the threat, and begin to have more open conversations, then you want to check out my 5-day training series on exactly this topic. And this 5-day training series will teach you exactly the step-by-step plan on how you can start a conversation, progress the conversation, and end the conversation in a way that's very productive, in a way that doesn't get each other's guards up, and in a way that never escalates into any arguments. And if you're interested in downloading that 5-part training series, then you can click the link below this video. And if you're looking for a safe space to talk about your issues in your relationship, then you also want to join our secret Facebook group where you can get really good advice about your issues and where you can talk to other members who are just as dedicated and as enthusiastic about working on the relationship as you are. And if you're interested in the Facebook group, you can also click the link below this video. So if you like this video and found it to be valuable and give you some insights, then go ahead and like it and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. And tell us in the comments below, which of these tips did you find most valuable? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And thank you so much for supporting this channel. And I want to keep making these videos for you guys to help you guys with your relationship. So it's really good to see all of your support here. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video.